All right, for the first time ever on YouTube, I'm gonna actually have a top 10 worst and best movies of 2024. If y'all haven't noticed, I've been doing a lot of not every movie or every TV show, but I have been doing a lot of movie reviews and talking about different shows. Learned about different franchises, like I learned about Terrifier, which I appreciate y'all for those who've been in that franchise. I appreciate y'all for encouraging me to go see the third one, in which I'll talk about that later. But I've been doing a lot of different movies, TV show kind of entertainment as well on this channel, on top of whatever I do. So I thought it was only right if I do a top, I was going to say top five, but there's been a lot of films that, and TV, like TV shows, film. I'm just talking about movies on this video, but there's been a lot that I've seen this year. And it's funny, it's still a lot that I missed, but there's been a lot that I've seen. I'm like, I can't just do, or I don't want to do just a top five. I'm going to do a top 10. And this video is going to be worst movies I've seen. And unfortunately, I hate dunking on movies or any kind of project that people make. But the truth is the truth. I don't come with negative energy. I'm just being honest. There has been a lot of stinkers this year with movies and TV shows. Games, not a lot. There's been some huge stink, like big stink, like a few games that's been stinkers. But movies and TV shows, there's been a lot of stinkers. A lot of them. I wrote down a list. I had to remember. I was like, dang, that did come out this year. Dang. Oh, wait. Oh, that was garbage. Oh, terrible. Oh, man. Oh, garbage. Oh, like it was a lot of that. I spent a whole hour or like 45 minutes getting my list of top 10 worst. And I'm going to be real with y'all. From 10 to 4, it's in no particular order. The top 3 are, in my opinion, the worst ever that came out this year. And granted, it's not the end of the year, so it could be other ones, but I doubt it. What's coming out soon? Sonic. I don't think that'll be terrible. Nosferatu. I want to see that. I don't think that'll be terrible. But excluding those, and also just to give it out there, I haven't seen every movie. I'm actually gonna have. I might do a list too of movies that I've missed because I realized I wrote that down too. There's a lot that I missed too. But there's movies that I missed that I wished I've seen in 2024. I might do that. Let me know if you want to see that. But, whew, there was a lot of bad movies, bro. And I had to narrow it down to 10. I had 20. And I had to narrow it down to 10. No, I had 22. Something like that. And I had to narrow it down to 10. And I'm just going to be real with y'all. 10 to 4 is in no particular order. And then 3 to 1 is in no particular order. It's just those from 3 to 1 those are the top worst I've ever seen this year. So we're gonna get right into it. I think I've explained it enough. Again, just let y'all know I haven't seen every movie, but at the end of the video, I do have one. It could be more, but on the top of my head, I do have one movie that's on my disappointed list. It wasn't technically terrible or bad. It wasn't good either. It was a movie where I'll get to it. I was disappointed. It wasn't garbage. It wasn't great. It was just disappointing. It's only one movie. I'll share that at the end. So, and I'm gonna try to explain as quick as possible. Y'all know I like to talk. And that's fine. That's what this is about. You know, I'm talking, hanging with y'all. But since there's 10 movies here, I'm gonna give quick explanations. More of like reactions, and then explain a little bit, very little, just so I can keep it moving. All right, number 10, Kraven the Hunter. It was on my disappointed list because if y'all know, I was actually expecting this movie to be good. If y'all see my reaction to it, I was looking forward to it. Then they delayed it and it came out in December, and I was like, okay, maybe they put in some extra stuff. It was actually something I was looking forward to seeing. Russell Crowe, I like Russell Crowe as an actor, but lately it seems like he's just been collecting checks. Instead of actually looking for a great project. But I forgot the guy who played Crave. I forgot his name, but I like him in movies too. He's a great actor. I loved him in Bullet Train. But the movie at first hit me as disappointing. And then the movie kept going. And I was like, oh, this is bad. CGI, plot. He's not Craven the one like how we know him. He was basically a straight up superhero. I don't know why Hollywood is scared to make characters the way they are. You know, if you don't want to make someone an actual villain, then don't make the movie. You know, you don't have to. That's why I think like Joker, the first one, was respectable because they didn't make him out to be a good guy. You felt for him, but he was still a villain. He was still a murderer. And they didn't shy away from that. I respect that. It seemed like Hollywood was scared to do that though. But yeah, performance, CGI, story, everything was just terrible. I heard it's doing bad too in the box office, and I could understand why. But it was disappointing as well because it was like, dang, I was hoping it would be good, but I came out like, oh, that was terrible. That was bad. So number 10. Number 9, which is something I had to look back and I was like, oh wait, I forgot about that. It was a horror movie, which was a sleeper. Oh my goodness, Imaginary. It. Who was that? What was that movie for? I know someone told me they was trying to get creative. Just because, no. I'm not even gonna because I was about to get into it. No, that doesn't mean that just because you was. I can respect you trying to get creative. I guess you have my respect on that. You still have to be good with it. There's a lot of creative projects, and that are still really good. They still have to put effort in the story, effort in execution, all that stuff. Imaginary, stale. It was plot was the monsters was okay, and that's a stretch. It was okay, but horror movies I should not be falling asleep. I don't think I've ever fell asleep in a horror movie or even close to falling asleep. Actually, I take that back. There is another one, and it's actually on this list thinking about it. But yeah, Imaginary, no, that was straight garbage. No scare features, and I know it's hard to scare me. And I tell people that it's jump scares. Every now and then it gets me, but monsters don't. I don't get nightmares stuff like that. Granted, for someone like me, okay, that's hard, but still entertaining. Heck no. Moving on, number 8, and this one, it was like a why. This was you knew this was like a straight cash grab. Megamind, the second one. The first one was really good, but at first it took you this long to make another one. And 2, honestly, this is the best way to describe it. This looked like a straight cash grab. They was like, look, let's see if we can milk something out of Megamind. Let's be real. A lot of us wasn't talking about the name, about Megamind in general. So even the newcomers, I've seen some like kids like, who the heck is that? Not the heck, but who was that? They don't even know it because the first one has been so long that a lot of the ones who were teenagers and stuff is adults now. So if they was trying to cater to new kids, that was not the way to do it. Then just the movie itself was like, why? How long was the first one ago? Hold on. 2010. Almost 15 years ago. Well, 14 years ago. Yeah, bro. Like, first, y'all be taking so long for the second one, and then it wasn't like Megamind had that Shrek effect. Y'all know what I mean when I say that, where I know kids now still know the first Shrek, and they wasn't around when we was around. I was a kid when that came out, and kids now know what that movie is. It did not have that effect. Was it good? Yes, the first one was really good, actually. It just, to make a second one out of the blue like this, it was out of the blue because I barely saw advertisement for this. It was like, oh, there's a second one? And out of respect for the first one, you're like, okay, let's go see. Don't. Moving on. So what was that, 7? Yeah, so 10 was Craven. Imaginary was 9. Megamind was 8. 7, this movie got worse the more I thought about it. Tear. I didn't really give it a great review when I did. That was one of the movies I did give a review on. If I remember correctly, because it came like early this year, so I don't remember fully what I said, but it was something to the fact of it wasn't a great movie, but it was watchable enough to see what happens or something like that. Then I started really thinking about the movie, and I started going back on some things, and I was like, man, bro, even though the way they did the monsters, they still had my respect, was good, the casting was terrible. I don't know what that guy's name is. He plays in Spider-Man movies. He's like Peter Parker's best friend, the recent ones. He was in Tear. Very corny in this movie. No disrespect. It was just in this role. It was very corny. It was everybody. It was just very stale acting. The plot was very bland. And they had a character there, because I was going back and I was remember they had a character in there that they was hyping up for her to really do nothing. It was like, why are you in this movie? They hyped her up so much to help a situation for her to be going like this. It was like, It kind of felt bad for her. It was like, dang, this woman should have been left alone. She actually could have still been alive. But outside of that, yes, the CGI on the monsters and the way they showed them was good. Everything else, and I literally mean that, everything else was bad. Whoever did, and actually I do remember saying this, whoever did the monsters in Terror, hopefully somebody hires them to do a better movie. That's it. That was the only thing that was good. And the more you think about it, it's like, man, that was terrible. You have to go on YouTube and look up the Terror monsters and get some little bit of entertainment. They wasn't amazing, but it was, it was a watch. When the monsters came on, I was actually looking. Everything else, no. So, yeah, Terror. This one hurts because I was looking forward. I was hoping the best for this movie. I love Bill Skarsgård. Fan of the original one. Dang, this one hurt. So number 6, Crow. It was one of the movies where it stunk, but you left like, dang, man. Dang. I really wanted to talk about how good that movie was. And I'll just be lying. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It was, that one hurt. It's very rare. Some movies that are terrible, it hurts. There's some movies there's a lot of movies terrible. It's like, don't ever introduce me to this movie again. This one, I'm like, I don't know if you ever had that feeling to where you're like, you're rethinking, trying to change your mind. Well, no, it did have, it had, outside of this garbage, it at least had, it's terrible. It was like one of those things I kept trying and kept trying, and I couldn't get anything. As great as actor Bill Skarsgård is, it hurts so bad. We're gonna move on. Crow. Don't watch it. Go watch the original one. I was one of those people that didn't believe that, and I was rooting for it. People noticed in the comments, people was telling me, don't mess with the original. They should not remake it and all that stuff. I was disagreeing. I was like, no, they could do it as long as if it's done well, they should. Why not? Why should they just hold it for one person? And when that movie came out, I see what they meant. Even though, in a way, I still stand on it. If they had the right people writing it, the right people making it, I think they still could have remade the movie. Not like this, though. This is not going to help. So if they ever think about doing another Crow remake in the next 5-10 years, because I'm pretty sure something of matter is going to happen, whether it's a TV show or a movie, do it right. Or don't do it at all. I don't know what this was. Really, to be real. Depressing. It's like, when I say dark, I don't mean like because Crow's a dark, like gothic movie. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, it was just, I said I'm not going to, I could go into it. I'm not going to do that. All right, so that was 10-6. Now, here's a 5. Well, I said top 3 is equal. So let's keep going. So 5, Megalopolis. What the heck? That is the best. That's the best response I give. What the heck? Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. What? Oh, brother. First off, here's the problem I have with these movies, man. Tickets cost too freaking much. No matter how much you make in the bank, it costs too. You can make $1 a month to $1 million a month. Tickets are too freaking much. Have some So when I'm spending $15 a ticket, I like popcorn and drink. I'm that kind of person. When I go to a movie, I want the whole set. I want popcorn. I want the drink. I want the candy on the side. Spending almost $100 to go see this snooze fest. No reward in any part of the movie. How are these great actors in these sign up to these movies? I know why. Because that's one thing I always have to remind myself is these actors, they get paid by doing film. So whether the movie's good or not, they don't get money unless they actually act. So I'll lay off of them because they got to pay the bills. Oh my goodness, bro. Whose idea was it to make this movie? I don't know the backstory of it. Oh, it was a drag. It was a snooze fest. It had no rewarding factor at all. Like, you know how I said Terra that said at least the monsters, it was no. And you gotta give me more than some good CGI moments. You know how many movies we got that's great, that's good CGI moments as well? You gotta give me more than that. Oh my goodness, a snooze fest. Moving on. Number 4, Night Swim. What the heck was that? It's like, and I love horror movies. That was not horror. Well, I guess you could call it that. It seemed like that was a movie that was just to check off the books. Oops, sorry if you heard that. It really seemed like a short film done wrong. Because I ain't going to say just a short film. Because there's a lot of great short films on YouTube. So I ain't going to disrespect them. I'm going to say a short film done wrong. And honestly, I kind of saw it coming when the trailers came out. Marco. Like, you're not just going to, it's dark outside. The lights came off. She's still saying Marco. Like, read the room. Something's not right. You didn't hear your friend walk out the pool. Even if you did, the lights came off. And so, I always thought that execution with the trailer was poorly done. Excuse me. But Night Swim, no rewarding factor. I can't even name one good thing about it. And if people were saying that, of course it's not. It's a movie about a pool. No, I actually believe you can do a great movie in a small setting. I really believe there are some movies where it was set in one spot, done very well. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. It's just that effort was not put into this. It really seemed like a quick cash grab, and this could work on YouTube. So let's see if this would not even work on YouTube. It would not. Anyway, moving on. Now here's the 3 that I hate. So yeah, top 3 worst movies I have seen. Granted, I haven't watched every movie, but these are the ones where I was not just disappointed and like, oh, don't see it, but I was literally a little mad. A little bit. I don't usually get too mad with movies, but I was like, the reason I was mad with these movies is because it did not have to be this way at all. These 3 are movies that has backgrounds you can work with. Other projects related to these movies that you could have used to make your movie great. And also, one of these 3 is a movie that should have never been. Ever. It messed up. It kind of stained the greatness of the first one. Let's get right to number 3. Joker 2. This is that movie. It should have never happened. And I was mad because I was sick of how Hollywood just takes something because it was great the first time and just throw something in there for money's sake. It's like, bro, did you even think before you had this movie be made? Did you ever think first? It's like, you know how great the first one was? And now it's so weird. When you hear people talk about Joker, they always talk about how bad the second one was. It's like it overshadows how great the first one was. And I was the one that was on board with the whole musical thing. But that was done terribly. It was also a snooze fest. The court scenes did not feel the way it should be for a movie. It just felt like people were just chilling, just talking. This and this and that. And then like maybe every now, well not maybe, but then every now something, but not enough to capture you for the rest of the movie. Something would happen in the court. Oh, and this is not to knock Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Those 2 are great actors. Actresses. They're gonna be just fine. They're gonna get better. They're great in whatever they do, even if the movie's terrible. This movie though had no business being written, being made, being advertised the way it was. This was a slap in the face. I said this before in other videos. I was talking about Joker 2. This is a clear sign. This is a great example for Hollywood to use. Just because something was great the first time doesn't mean it needs a second. Oh my goodness. I was literally mad because I was like, this is going to be talked about more than how great the first one was. And it has been. Ever since this movie came out, all people talk about is how bad this is. Every time I'll mention the first Joker to somebody, they're sitting there, I don't like that franchise. And it's like, it should not even been it should have just been one and done. People are now thinking about the second one. See, I'm good enough to forget something. Like after I talk about this, I can forget some movies. Joker 2 will not exist. I will not see it no more. It's enough. I can move on. Some people can. That's all they'll talk about. And it's like, look how you stained such a great film. Dude, I heard behind the scenes that Joaquin Phoenix didn't want to do it to begin with. I heard that, but the check was nice. So that's why I say the actors I lay off because, for the as long as they do their job right, I lay off of them because they're trying to pay the bills. That's they don't get money unless they get work. But oh man, you talking about walking out disgusted, bro. Like I was the whole day. I'm sitting there just mad, bro. And then who said it? It was somebody. I think the director, somebody said it that y'all looking at it wrong. He's not the Joker. You called it Joker too. Joker. It might not be Batman's Joker, but it's still the Joker. What are you talking about? Who said that? Cause it was like when the movie was doing bad. Oh, y'all, it was somebody who was part of the movie. It wasn't no Joaquin Phoenix or Lady Gaga. I'm pretty sure they moved on with their life. But whoever was behind the scenes making it, y'all looking at it wrong. Y'all, Joaquin's character is not the Joker. Joker 2 title. It wasn't called Arthur Fleck. It was called Joker. And we know he's not the Batman one, but I don't think that's what he was talking about. He was talking about how we perceived it, that we was looking for something of an upgrade from the first one. Which, yes, if you're going to make a second one, the first one did so well, you're going to have to up the ante on it. And I could give a plot of what could have been, but that's going to make this video too long. But it could have done well. And that's why I said earlier, these are the three movies that could have done well. As much as Joker 2 was not necessary, it still could have been done well if given to the right people. It was not given to the right people. And yeah, I'm going to keep going. Video's too long as it is. Dang, that hurt. That one, yeah, I was mad on this one. But honestly, the next two didn't really fix my opinion either. Madam Web. Madam Web was going to be number one, but the reason I put it at number two is because I respect the actresses, some of the actresses, and I'll get that in a minute. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people talked about how terrible this movie is, and I did in a video too. It was, first off, I don't know what is this thrill of having Spider-Man characters, all these characters be in a movie by themselves. I don't get it. They did it with Venom. They did it with Morbius. They did it with Madam Web. Conan. What's his name? Craven. Am I missing one? I said Madam Web. I don't know what this was. Somebody told me it was because if Sony does that, Disney can't use them in the next Spider-Man movie. It must be some politics with that. I have no idea. Regardless, it was Madam Web. Of all the characters, Madam Web, this is a movie I don't even know they could have done right without Spider-Man or something, and not that corny ending. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But of all characters, Madam Web gets her own. I never forget when I first heard about that. I was like, what? I know who Madam Web is. Why the heck she have her own movie? But what gives it a little bit of a pointer is how some of the actresses was dissing it during its release, not later down the line. Like you hear actors later when the movie's been dead for a while, for about 10 years, they'll say they did that terrible movie. No, I like that. Should I say their names? I'm not, just in case. Because I ain't trying to mess up what they got going. Well, it's been all over the place. No, you know who they are. They was dissing it and doing little jabs, not straight to their face dissing it, but little jabs that us with common sense know what they were saying. I can respect that. It was like those actresses was like, look, we was here to get a check. This movie was garbage. They didn't say those exact words, but basically, we was here to get a check. I did this because blank and blank. I can respect that. Because at least the actors, because you hear some actors are scared to say it, or they're too nervous because they don't want to lose other jobs. I believe if they praised this movie and said how great it was, it could have messed up other jobs. Them being honest and agreeing with the fans, I believe made the fans love the actresses more, which could give them more roles. Because actually a certain individual who was, in a way, roasting the movie has been getting tons of movie roles. I'm not sure if that's the reason. I'm just giving, just the point is, I can respect when you look at a project, even if you're in it and like, dang, that was bad. You know what I'm saying? So I can give you the nod for that one. But don't watch that movie. Don't watch the trailer. Don't. That was another one, because the reason it made me mad was because it's like, how many times you going to have to do this to learn your lesson? Like, how many times? Hollywood, don't you want to make money? Don't you want to make some good money? You have Spider-Man characters. All you have to do is put them in a Spider-Man movie and it would have done wonders. I'm pretty sure Madam Web, Morbius, Craven would have been awesome. Venom would have been awesome, even though Venom has been done well. But the other ones would have done marvelous in the Spider-Man movies. I'm not a big fan of the Venom movies. I didn't like how they used them. I like the dark, gritty, the bad guy version of Venom, who has a good side every now and then, but not this goofy take they did. It just wasn't for me. I'm not saying it was terrible, it just wasn't for me. Especially that second one. I'm a Carnage fan, and the way they did Carnage, that was disrespectful. But outside of that, Spider-Man is going to make bank regardless. You could have made a movie and had them in it, because I think Madam Web, Craven, Morbius, I think them in the Spider-Man would have been amazing. So yeah, Madam Web. Now this number one is, thinking about it, this is the worst movie of all time. I'm sorry, of 2024. Because this was one where you're just straight slapping the fan base in the face. You're ignoring all that you need to make this movie great. Casting is what the heck, and it's just everything. And like I said, to have good CGI or great costume design, that you can get that from other movies. Borderlands 2, bro, you have in my opinion, three great games in Borderlands. Borderlands 1, 2, and 3. You could have just taken that and just copied that. This, I don't care if there is some nuggets in the game, that ain't enough. The way they went about this movie is literally, to me, in my opinion, as a fan of Borderlands, a slap in the face. It was like, what are you doing? I can't stand not just with Borderlands, but with other projects where you have the information to make a movie great. You have like in comic book movies, you have the books, or like in Batman. Well, Batman, like, I ain't gonna say that was terrible. But any superhero, you have the formula. If you don't know how to make a great film, you have the formula, a great script, the formula to go to previous stuff that worked. I always said, if Batman, that's why I brought it, if Batman was stuck, the people making it, they didn't know what to do. Look at the Arkham games. Those did very well. Look at the Phantom Menace. Great animated film that I'm still waiting for that to be a live action. Look at the animated series. All them great stories. And that's how I feel with Borderlands. There's so much in Borderlands 1, in 2, in 3 you could have done to make that movie a masterpiece. Because I ain't gonna front. When I first heard Borderlands, and I remember it was a picture, it was the cast. It was all black. You couldn't see them. It was like they were standing, but you couldn't see their faces. I was excited. I was like, oh. I know some people was like, as a Borderlands fan, I would love that. With the technology these movie companies have to make it, just get the great cast and all that stuff. Speaking of that, Kevin Hart as Roland, I don't care how big he is. I'm talking about as a celebrity. Don't care. If Hollywood has not noticed, celebrities don't sell movies anymore. That era is over. And there's no disrespect to these actors. Because I say that because I really believe the people who made Borderlands got Kevin Hart because of his name. That doesn't sell movies the way it used to be. I'm from the 90s and 2000s. You hear a name like Will Smith. You hear a name like Julia Roberts. You hear all these different names. People would go see it just for that actor. Or actress. Then they'll decide if the movie was great or not. But it made his movie off his name. It ain't the same like that anymore. Personally, I believe it's because of social media, but that's a different kind of conversation. But yeah, I don't know what they was thinking. There were so many other actors. I remember my friend and I was talking about that they could have had. They could have had a whole different, better than him. Kevin Hart as Roland. What? And then Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett should have been her mom, not the actual character. It was like, bro, what do we? And I love Kate Blanchett. Like, she's a great actress. It is, like I said, it's not a nod to these actors and actresses. They got to get paid. I'm looking at everything behind the scenes. What made you think that was going to work? The moment you saw Kevin Hart in the poster, the second poster, I was like, huh? What? And you see him in the movie, it was like, this is cringe, this is cringy. And I would give it to Kate Blanchett. She tried. That woman tried her best. But that wasn't going to go by. If anything, she was going to be her mom, not the actual character. People didn't like Jack Black as Claptrap. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. But personally, I didn't have that big of an issue with it. Like the setting and how they did the graphics, the CGI for the most part was good for the most part. But like I said, that does not make the movie great. You got to have a great plot, great cast, and the characters have to work. It felt so. Oh, that's another thing. The cast felt so awkward with each other. It did not seem like. You know what it looked like? It looked like this cast just met day one. All right, action. You know, usually back in the day, you hear behind the scenes, you hear the actors spend like a week or two together so they can get their chemistry right. They just hanging out at dinner and stuff like that. It did not look like that at all. It just seemed like Kate Blanchett and Kevin Hart saw each other. Hey, how you doing? Good? Okay. The girl saw Tiny Tina. The other person, hey, all right, action. That's how I felt. I don't know if actors do this anymore, but they need to go back to that hanging with each other. And so, yeah, that was a slap to the face. A slap to the face. And I'm for, you not having to copy every single thing from another project that has the same title. But do it right. Because like Marvel does it, like with the MCU, with the Avengers and everything, like Civil War for the movie. If you know the book of Civil War, you know it's totally different. It's, for the most part, is mostly different than what the movie showed. But they did the story right. And they had the foundation. It was Iron Man versus Cap. Now, the comic was more expanded and it was darker and that was a good comic. It was some heartbreak, some intense, it was a lot. But when you see the movie, you're like, okay, all right. It didn't copy the comic, but it still did it right. At least do it right. It didn't even seem like they was trying for this plot. It looked like whoever started creating was like, look, people are going to watch it because it's Borderlands. Stop taking the fan base for granted. That works every once in a blue moon. Like Five Nights at Freddy, that movie was terrible, in my opinion. But because of the fan base of Five Nights at Freddy, it made a lot of money. But if you realize, a lot of people was like, yeah, it made a lot of money, but when they make that second one, they better do it right. That's why I believe they're going to, actually dive in and actually put more effort into the second one. But that is very rare that happens. Very rare. Where something because of his name is going to make a lot of money. So anyway, that's my top 10. Man, I talked for a while. I told you I could talk for a long time. And I could have went in on some of these movies and this video would have been an hour. But let me know what your top 10 is of worst movies. Oh, sorry. I have one disappointing movie. Trap. Trap wasn't great. Trap wasn't terrible. It was disappointing because, again, that was a movie that had all the formula it could to, when you see the trailer, it looked like it had the formula to be a great movie. Now, I don't know his name, the main actor, the one who was part of the cover of Trap. He did very well for what he was given. Again, not to actors. But the execution, and there were some moments where the cops were just straight dumb. It was like, there was moments where you see, there was nothing extravagant about the character the actor played, the main guy, the bad guy. There was nothing like, oh, he's really good at what he does. And that's what made it such a disappointment, because when you see the trailer, you thinking he's going to get out of this situation with the cops in a smart, he's really good at what he does. He's going to get out of it at the end with a smile on his face. He's going to do something that's going to blow our minds away. It was not that at all. It was literally dumb cops and right moment at the right time, or how they say it, right place at the right time situations. Because there was moments where stuff where he did something right in front of the cops, And there, it was like, did you not hear what he just did? He'll make a loud noise. Usually loud noise will make you look like, what was that? It was like the writers told them, just keep looking this way. Don't look over there. Or he'll walk by them, and it was like, wait a minute, you have these cops doing full search, want to know who you are, and this guy's just gonna walk right by everybody? Like, they really made, yeah, they had to make the cops dumb and the situations be at the right place at the right time for this guy to look even a little bit smart. Then the ending, it fell flat. It fell flat, you know, because I will say this is a spoiler alert. At the very end, for those who've seen the movie, when he had the pen to take his cuffs off, right? What does he do after that? I remember saying that when the theater was done, when the movie was done. I was like, you see him take the, like, he's about to take the cuffs off, and he had a little piece of thing to take the cuffs off him. What now? You're in a van that's locked with tons of, like, police over you. You have no weapons. The movie does not show that you're like that dude of a killer, like you're that good to take out these cops. What now? They open the door, they see you have no cuffs. Sit back. Sit back. You know, it's like, what you gonna do? You gonna sit your butt back. It was like, oh, they really try to make him seem like he was that dude, and he wasn't. The movie never showed that he was. Even his own, like, even people who, his own wife, other people smarter than him. There was a singer who was, I think it was Shyamalan's daughter. He gave her a lot of spotlight in this movie. Everybody, it seemed like a lot of people were smarter than him. And the only times he was smart was when the writers told the cops to act dumb and for have situations fall at the right time. It was no moment to where I was like, okay, dang, okay, this dude is legit. Like, I don't know if you remember the movie Usual Suspects or Primal Fear. Two great movies. Those movies made you see the villain as, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. It made us look at the villain like this because he outsmarted everybody. Both movies, Usual Suspects and Primal Fear. Definitely go see those movies. I ain't gonna spoil nothing because it will mess up the whole movie. It's one of those movies to where at the very end you're like, and I was hoping that would have been Trap. It wasn't even close. So Trap is disappointing because, yeah, like I just said, it had the formula to be great and it fell flat on his face. So the reason I just put it disappointing though, because what's his name did a great performance as a villain. Shyamalan's daughter could sing. I guess that was his way to show her singing vocals, but I wasn't there to see that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's my list. Let me know what's yours in the comments below. I'll do my 10 best soon, and then I'll have my 10 movies I'm looking forward to in 2025. But let me know what you feel about what I said in the comments below, and let me know your 10. Put your 10 right now. What's your top 10 worst movies of all time? Stop saying all time. Of 2024. All right. I'll talk to you later. See ya.